70-mile-an-hour winds along the coast. Clouds outside right now at 51 degrees, humidity 86%, winds southeast at 12, and the pressure's at 29.49. It's dropping now. Well, I'm not sure why we're seeing the Channel 6 almanac here, but the high temperature today was 67, and that was a record high for the day. 53 was the overnight low last night, and the freezing level measured over Salem was 8,200 feet. Overnight lows last night, 40s and 50s. It was pretty mild with the southerly flow, and very warm today with strong southerly winds, and the rain held off until mid-afternoon, and early afternoon, we hit 67 degrees in Portland, a record high temperature for the date. East of the Cascades, look at this, 72 in Pendleton. That was a record as well. We had a weather spotter report over 80-mile-an-hour winds in Pilot Rock, a little south of Pendleton this afternoon. So winds all over the Pacific Northwest. Generally, they're from the southeast with one of these kind of situations. East of the Cascades, they're from the south through the Willamette Valley, and that was the case today. Cold weather covering the eastern sections of the country, but not much in the way of moisture, just a few scattered showers up over the northeast, and warm weather covers much of the western United States. Here's a look at the temperatures today. 66 in Denver, 78 in Phoenix, 36 in Chicago, and Washington, D.C. topped out at 37. We'll come back and take a look at our forecasts for the Pacific Northwest right after this.
KPDX is also rebroadcast via these supplementary TV stations.
If your mom says it's okay, leave me a voicemail.
Personal secretary from GTE.
Hello? Guess who? Jim! Again?
He's saving money with GTE long distance. You can too. Dial 1-800-SMART-CALL to save money with a GTE calling plan. Money you could use to order personal secretary. It's one of many combinations that can make your life easier. Call us.
Does an inexpensive car loaded with reliability have to be stripped of standard features? No. Come up to our standards and lease the Civic LX sedan for just $189 a month for 30 months at your Honda dealer.
Hi, I'm Craig Walker. Wake up with me every morning, and then, while you're at work, listen to a great variety of soft rock favorites. It'll make your day go faster on K103 FM.
Satellite picture shows that what's left of that low up here in kind of southern British Columbia and pretty much dissipated. It was a strong one as it came on by. There's another band of moisture back out here and lots of showers back in this area. So it looks like overnight we're in a little bit of a break during the early evening hours, and more rain moving in tomorrow, and then it looks like over the weekend showery weather off and on. So wind decreasing overnight tonight, pretty much gone along the coast. Rain tomorrow, and southerly winds just 10 to 20 miles an hour. And the wind's pretty much gone through the valleys as well. Rain or snow tomorrow in the Cascades, with the snow level dropping to about 4,500 feet. Cooler air is finally moving in over the northwest. Rain east of the Cascades, but generally light, and rain mainly in the west end of the gorge tomorrow. Rainy and not as windy tomorrow, 56, not as warm either. For a high temperature, 45, our forecast overnight low tonight. Looking ahead, the 6-day forecast, there'll be some showers off and on over the weekend, steadier rain again on Monday, and then it'll get mild again. We can't rule out a shower or two Tuesday and Wednesday, but warming up a little bit. Cooler weather is moving in. The snow level will drop. There will be some new snow over the weekend over the mountains. Here's a look at the latest ski report numbers at Mount Hood Meadows. No new as of last report, but should get some overnight tonight. 106 inches on the ground there. Timberline, no new. Remember the Winter Games of Oregon occurring this weekend on Mount Hood. 141-inch base at Mount Hood. Some of those Winter Game events will occur at Ski Bowl as well. 62 inches at last report there. And if you're headed down to Mount Bachelor, 102 to 134 inches on the ground. They had a couple of inches of new snow today, and they've got all that cross-country stuff prepped and ready to go.
But the worst of it is behind us, all this storm stuff.
Well, this system is over, yeah. Now, this one was pretty good. We were able to pick this out. Actually, some of our computer models saw it as much as 48 hours ahead of time. And that's a real advance, because not too many years ago, seeing one of these 12 hours ahead of time was hard to do.
All right.
Would have been a big surprise. Here you are. Clyde Drexler is gone but not forgotten, especially by a Beaverton athletic company. Avia International hopes to ride his coattails, or actually his feet, to the big time. Drexler showing off some new two-tone shoes in Houston these days. And they're popular in the 11th largest media market in the country, and that makes Avia's marketing director very happy.
Houston's on TV more and on national TV more, first of all. As the reigning champions, they are, you know, they obviously receive a lot more exposure and coverage from major magazines and shows. We will triple, quadruple our business in the next few months over where we were at this time last year in Houston, easily.
Avia's goal is to double its size, so it's hoping Clyde's moves on the court will put money in the bank for them. They're also signing up a number of other new stars along with Clyde Drexler, so it should be a good year for them.
Wouldn't be too bad for this area if the company doubled in size.
Wouldn't be bad at all.
The Nightly Sports Report is just around the electronic bend. The Blazers surprised the Heat in Miami.
And the University of Oregon basketball team tries to earn a spot in the big postseason tournament. Ned Whalen with the results after these messages.
Friday starting at 8 on Fox 49.
It's Disneyland's biggest ride ever. I'm Scott Tom.
And I'm Marie Dodd from Q105.
And I'm Norm from Fox 49's Kids Club. We're giving away vacations to experience the new Indiana Jones adventure. Plus, go on an exclusive treasure hunt.
Winners will fly on Delta Airlines and stay at the Disneyland Hotel.
Now your fears have a name. The new Indiana Jones adventure at Disneyland.
Listen to Q105 and watch Fox 49 for your chance to win.
No one knows Chevrolet like we do. Hi, I'm Ed Tonkin, and for years, Ron Tonkin Chevrolet Geo has been the leader in Portland with the best selection, prices, and financing. That's on our full lineup of Chevrolet and Geo cars, and especially on our Chevy trucks, including S10s, work trucks, extended cabs, long beds, sports sides, Blazers, and more. Come see for yourself today at Ron Tonkin Chevrolet Geo out 122nd Way.
The performing arts nurture our souls and feed our minds. Exposure to the arts results in higher math and verbal skills and enhanced self-esteem. Oregon Ballet Theater has made a strong commitment to children. Our education and outreach programs touch more than 20,000 young lives in the region. You can help by supporting Oregon Ballet Theater Education and Outreach. For more information, contact Oregon Ballet Theater at 241-8316. It's their future.
Please take note. You're watching Fox 49, KPDX.
My, this has been quite a year for the Oregon Ducks, hasn't it?
Yeah, and quite a night for scores, too. Listen, I got a long way home and not much time to get there, so...
Take a deep breath.
Hello, everybody. Nice seeing you again. The Oregon Ducks are a lock for their first trip to the Big Dance since 1961. Jerry Green just scratched his head as Oregon trailed USC by 3 at recess tonight. But look at Jordy Lydon's slick pass to Orlando Williams, who shot 3 from Watts. 46-42, Oregon. Orlando hit another one off the break. Williams scored 17 points, and Green's gang led by 9. Jordy Lydon hit Damon Runyon for the slam dunk, but USC went up 1 with 2 minutes to go. Zach Sellers took care of that. His lay-in put Oregon in front to stay. And little Kenya Wilkins sealed the deal. Wilkins scored 23 points and hit all 16 of his free throws. Oh, boy, we're going to the Big Dance. 81-77, Oregon Ducks the final.
It feels real good. It's another accomplishment we've made this year at Oregon. Oregon isn't a lay-down program waiting to get stepped on. It's a program that's going up, and with our coaching staff and our confidence in our coaching staff, we're going to keep climbing.
Having a 19-win season right now is great, and hopefully we can get 20 against UCLA. So just the overall magnitude of this whole season is going to be great from the University of Oregon.
All right. The Beavers gave number 1 UCLA a run. Brent Berry scooped to the hoop. Bruins by only 9 at recess, but J.R. Henderson and the Bruins were too much. Number 1 UCLA 86. Oregon State 67 the final. Now Stanford over Washington State. Stanford has slim action at the Big Dance, and the Huskies over California in overtime. Otis, my man, Thorpe ruled. Clifford Robinson returned, and Aaron McKee started as Portland won in Miami tonight. Steve Henson trying to fill in for Strickland, no good, but Otis Thorpe with a one-handed slam dunk. Not much time for the Blazers tonight. I want to make sure the high school kids get their due, but Jerome Kersey continues to hustle. Portland whips Miami 99-90. Otis, my man, had his best game as a Blazer. The fellows better bring their lunch bucket and a Louisville Slugger tomorrow against Shaq O'Neal. Elsewhere, Charlotte stuffed the Sonics, and despite an off night by Worm Rodman, the Spurs beat Cleveland, while the Kings lose to the Pacers by 15 points. Is Michael Jordan returning to the NBA to raise Cain with the Blazers and the rest of the league again? Associated Press says yes. For the third straight day this morning, Jordan worked out with the Bulls, so rumor has it Jordan is set to return. Maybe in 2 weeks. Jordan declines comment, but his old coach says this.
Right before his retirement, we got a few opportunities to sit down and talk, and you know, it's a reality.
Practices have been a little more intense. You know, it's fun as far as him talking trash and being himself, but other than that, we're still trying to execute and get ready for Cleveland.
I'll be darned. All right, on to...
We'll be right back.
Hey kids, Norm here. Guess what I do every Saturday morning? I watch Fox 49. At 7, I watch Dog City, followed by the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers at 7:30 and Animaniacs at 8. Then at 8:30, I watch Eat the Cat. And at 9, I really dig Batman and Robin. Then at 9:30, it's my favorite Blue Box, The Tick. And at 10, it's X-Men. I better get a grip on myself. Fox 49 Saturday morning lineup makes me nuts.
It's Disneyland's biggest ride ever. I'm Scott Tom.
I'm Marie Dawes from Q105.
And I'm Norm from Fox 49's Kids Club. We're giving away vacations to experience the new Indiana Jones adventure. Plus, go on an exclusive treasure hunt.
Winners will fly on Delta Airlines and stay at the Disneyland Hotel.
Now your fears have a name. The new Indiana Jones adventure at Disneyland.
Listen to Q105 and watch Fox 49 for your chance to win.
Today, Central Oregon, cloudy skies, a shower, maybe even a thunder shower, daytime highs in the 50s. And for Eastern Oregon, cloudy skies, occasional rain and or rain showers today. The Gorge will be cloudy and rainy, daytime high today in the Dalles, 57 degrees. And for the folks in the valley, cloudy skies and rain showers today, maybe an afternoon or early evening thunderstorm, daytime highs between 56 and 60. Here in Portland, cloudy skies, some showers, maybe even some thunder showers, a high today of 57 tonight. Rain and a low of 46 degrees. Winds will be out of the southeast tonight, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Our extended forecast calls for clouds, rain and or rain showers between now and next Tuesday. Highs in the 50s and overnight lows will be in the 30s, upper 30s and 40s. Well, it is Friday, so let's head on off towards the mountains, folks, for some ski report action. And up first is Timberline. Cloudy skies this hour, 34 degrees, an inch of new snow, and a 141-inch base. Flat lifts are operating. Mount Hood Meadows, cloudy, trace of new snow, 120-inch base, 6 lifts from 9 a.m. until 10 p.m. And Ski Bowl, cloudy, no new snow, but a 72-inch base. 3 lifts are operating from 4:30 this afternoon through 11 o'clock tonight. Okay, Mount Bachelor, clear skies, 30 degrees, a 136-inch base, and 8 lifts from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Anthony Lakes is snowing, an inch of new snow there, a 60-inch base, 2 lifts from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Ski Ashland, 2 inches of new snow, 4 lifts from 9 until 10. And Hoodoo has clear skies, 30 degrees, with 3 lifts from 9 until 10. Willamette Pass, clear, 32 degrees this morning, a trace of new 75-inch base, 3 lifts from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. There you go. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. It's going to be better than yesterday.
Good news. Thanks, Dave.
See you later on.
The time this morning, 6:44. House Republicans want to slash taxes by $189 billion. The GOP unveiled its 5-year tax-cutting plan yesterday. It would give families making up to $250,000 a year a $500 tax credit for each child. It would cut capital gains in half and offer incentives for companies. The plan faces an uphill battle, though. Democrats say it would help the rich while cutting programs for the poor.
Well, he never really looked the part in that baseball uniform, did he? And now Michael Jordan is returning to the game that he once ruled for years. A source told the Associated Press last night that Jordan is going back to basketball.
Jordan has been playing baseball but left training camp because of the strike. Jordan hasn't said publicly what he will do, and Bulls management isn't talking either. But Jordan has practiced the last 2 days with the Chicago Bulls.
Just the apprehension that's behind it is kind of good for this ball club because, there's been kind of this lethargy that's around the 500 team that, oh, well, they're so-so and everything else. And, of course, there's all this speculation that, we're a do-or-die situation. When Michael comes back, he may save our butts and all that.
A source told the AP that Jordan won't come back for a couple of weeks because he wants to tune up. Now the Blazers, they're at Orlando tonight. You can watch the game here on the News Channel. And the Blazers go into that contest on a roll. Here's Joe Becker.
Good morning. It's Friday. I bet you're happy about that, huh? I've got something else you might be happy about. The Blazers beat the Heat in Miami. Cliff Robinson played his first game in more than 2 weeks, and rookie Aaron McKie made a big contribution. The Blazers win at 99-90. Blazers looking for their second straight win on the road, and Aaron McKie started at guard in place of James Robinson. Looked sharp. Here's with a sweet move. He had 12 points. Then watch Terry Porter feeds Buck Williams on the baseline. He hammers it home. And Otis Thorpe had a good game. Otis working underneath. He had 22 points. I mentioned Cliff Robinson. He had 12 points and 10 rebounds in his first game back. The Blazers go on to win this baby by 9 points. Let's check the scoreboard. The final score, 99-90. The Blazers pounded the boards, and they out-rebounded the Heat 60-41. Blazers' next game's tonight right here on Channel 8. It starts at 6:30. You won't want to miss that one. Elsewhere in the NBA, San Antonio beat Cleveland. Charlotte was a winner, and Indiana over Sacramento. Well, the Ducks got the job done at USC, and now all they have to do is wait and see who they're going to play in the NCAA tournament. It's almost certain the Ducks are in for the first time in 34 years. USC had lost 12 straight, but they gave the Ducks a tough contest. Orlando Williams knocks down the three at 17 points. Ducks up 51-42, but USC rallies. Louis Orr scores. Trojans up 72-70. But Zach Sellers scores underneath, and the Ducks are on top to stay. And Kenya Wilkins, 16 of 16 free throws. The Ducks win at 81-77. They're now 19-7 on the season. Meanwhile, the Beavers had a tough game against UCLA. Ooh, big jam there by George Zidek. And then off the break, it's Cameron Dollar with the strip, and he sets up Ed O'Bannon for the jam. And the Bruins win at 86-67. The Beavers are now 8-18 on the season. Meanwhile, Willamette beat Mount Vernon of Ohio in the NAIA Division II tournament, final 96-69 in Idaho. Also, a big night of high school basketball. The Oregon State Boys 4A tournament continues over at the Coliseum. Big game last night. Had top-ranked Benson against Beaverton. The fans are loving this one. And look at this. Benson with the block. Then it's a fast break, and it's Jason Franklin who has the big slam dunk. Back the other way, though, Beaverton works the alley-oop to perfection. They try to stay in it, but Benson is too strong. Sean Murray scores, and Benson goes on to win.
And California tries to dig out and clean up, but more rain is on the way. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Pat Kirk.
And I'm Dave Thompson. Well, President Clinton has declared 39 California counties disaster areas, so people devastated by the floods, the mud, and the continuing rain there can get cheap loans to help rebuild their lives.
It didn't rain in most parts of the state today, but as Rusty Dornan explains in the first of two reports tonight, some residents of the Golden State still had to run from rivers rising.
They escaped the floodwaters that engulfed their homes in Pajaro, California on Saturday. But these evacuees were forced to evacuate again when the Salinas River threatened the evacuation center in Castroville.
I know what they've lost, and if you saw their eyes when they saw the water then encroaching here on what they thought was a very safe place, and so, of course, it's very emotional.
Gather your valuables and proceed to high ground.
Some folks helping the evacuees ran home when they realized their own homes were in danger.
When we saw the water just coming up, we said, forget it. We better go in and get all the clothes and everything we need. We can at least go over to my friend's house and spend the night.
My uncle's, his house is going under, too, and he lives right down the street.
One 15-year-old girl and her brother were stranded home alone when the waters reached their doorstep.
Our parents weren't here, and we don't know how to drive, so we just try to put everything up as high as possible and try to salvage what we can.
The water came up so quickly it took many people here by surprise, and some decided to wade out on their own, carrying what they could on their backs. Many here are farm workers. Their only language is Spanish.
We never got any warning on it, especially in Spanish. Mostly because some of these people don't understand English.
Castroville, known as the artichoke capital of the world. This year's crop now covered with mud and debris. Nearby, the coastal town of Monterey. All the roads completely cut off from access, stranding thousands.
They're on their honeymoon trying to get out to go to Hawaii. I'm trying to get up to San Jose to head up to San Francisco. I just got in from Cleveland for the wedding, and we're stranded.
Told you can't get there from here, Salinas TV news director Bill Pickett knew there was only one way to get to work.
I finally caught a flight out with one of the farmers who was out checking his field. Caught a flight out of the airport there to the airport here.
California has never seen flooding this widespread. As one meteorologist put it, forget the 100-year flood figures. This is 1 in 1,000. Rusty Dornan for CNN, Castroville, California.
The storm left a tangle of destruction in the small town of Montecito, some of the worst of it in Sycamore Canyon. It was here that a 57-year-old federal judge, Edward Schiff, was killed after floodwaters swept him and his wife Lily through the walls of their home.
It happened quick. It was in a moment, but my son-in-law was on the roof, and he saw it, and he knew. He knew. We were watching.
Schiff's wife survived, holding on to the front door as the walls and windows gave way around her. Witnesses say the torrent of water rose 8 to 10 feet in a matter of minutes. Some survivors say they had to scramble onto their rooftops to save themselves.
You could just hear by the sound that these boulders here were moving through here. You could see ripples break and things come up through the water and dive down again. It was lethal. Broke the door.
In the battered hamlet of La Conchita, the storm showed more mercy. A river of mud flooded a dozen homes, but no one was hurt.
Hopefully it's over. Hopefully the rain's over and the skies are here and we can clean up the mess now and then go back to life as normal, hopefully.
9 homes were destroyed here by a landslide a week ago. Most people have left town because the hillside is still unstable.
Something's got to be done with that slope. This means probably drainage and geometric changes. But that has to be done because they can't leave this unstable slope above these homes.
In Malibu, mudslides have almost become a way of life during heavy rain. The latest storm damaged at least a dozen homes, and mudslides forced the closure of Pacific Coast Highway. Storms, fires, and earthquakes have hit California so many times in recent years. One official says the state has become a natural disaster theme park. But other people point out one person's storm is another person's storm surf. And most of the time, the sun is shining. Jim Hill for CNN, La Conchita, California.
A grisly discovery this weekend along Highway 14 near Washougal, Washington. A motorist who pulled over in one of the highway's turnouts found the body of a woman in the underbrush just off the road. Skamania and Clark County authorities are treating the case as a homicide. They describe the victim as a white woman, lean-built, between 20 and 35 years old, about 100 to 120 pounds, with green eyes and light brown hair. Now, if you have any information or saw anything along Highway 14 yesterday afternoon, you should contact the Clark County Sheriff's Department at area code 360-699-6095.
Newport police have a man in custody tonight after a shooting in front of a McDonald's restaurant that left another man dead. Witnesses say they saw a man in his 20s shoot an older man several times after the two apparently got into an argument in the parking lot. They also say the police chased and surrounded the suspect, who then gave himself up. Well, a Centennial High senior and star football player faces charges of selling drugs at school. Authorities arrested him Friday. Eli Austin Pardue signed a letter of intent to play football for PSU this past month. At Centennial, he rushed for more than 4,100 yards. His attendance at PSU, his college scholarship may both be in jeopardy. Police say he was carrying more than 3 dozen tabs of LSD when he was arrested.
A high-speed chase overnight began in Beaverton, ended in Salem, and landed a 16-year-old Portland boy in jail. Beaverton police tell us they stopped a car believed involved in auto break-ins early this morning, and they arrested one of the two men inside. The other man took off, dragging one police officer for a short distance and running over another's foot. Neither officer was seriously hurt. The driver was arrested in Salem half an hour later after running over spikes put along I-5 by Oregon State Police.
Oh, with jail beds in Multnomah County at a premium, officials are looking at new ways to make effective use of limited space while still making an impact on those who break the law. Bill Cooper has the story of one effort that is making a difference.
For 7 hours, a crew of a dozen men sweep sidewalks and pick up trash along East Burnside in Gresham. They're part of Multnomah County's Work in Lieu of Jail program. 23-year-old Darnell Duran was convicted of carrying a concealed weapon. The judge gave him 4 weekends of work.
Yeah, I took it in a minute.
He has 2 more to go.
Yeah, it's hard, but, you know, it's better than sitting on a concrete bed.
Sheriff Sergeant Mary Berrigan came up with the idea.
It reduces the workload on staff, it reduces the jail crowding, and the inmates are doing something productive. And it's very cost-effective. It costs a lot of money to keep someone in jail.
Seed money for the program came from the Inmate Welfare Fund. That's the profits from the inmate commissary. The ongoing cost of a deputy to accompany the work crews each weekend is paid for by the people in the program. Each person is charged $15 a day for the privilege of staying out of jail. Only low-risk offenders are considered for work in lieu of jail. Those who qualify would be some of the first to be released because of overcrowding.
That shouldn't happen. I mean, they got sentenced to do time, they should do some time. And doing it on a work crew is better than, you know, getting matrix release.
Well, I'm going to try to change, turn around. It's not like I'm a criminal or nothing, but I did something bad and I'm paying for it.
It's a win for them and it's a win for us.
8 weeks into the program, everyone agrees it's working well. It's easing jail overcrowding, saving money, and turning around the lives of a few people who realize they don't want to be on the other side of this fence. In Northeast Portland, Bill Cooper, the 10 o'clock news.
5 days after being brutally attacked in Pakistan, the bodies of 2 State Department workers returned home today.
The search for their assailants continues. Kathleen Koch has our story tonight.
As an honor guard removed the remains of the 2 State Department employees killed last week in Pakistan, their families huddled together for support. The Deputy Secretary of State said the attack pointed out again how vulnerable such workers are.
We have been reminded yet again, vividly and tragically, that those who work in our embassies and consulates face not only hardship but risk as well, including the ultimate risk.
33-year-old Jackie Van Landingham, a secretary, and 45-year-old Gary Durrell, a communications technician, were slain in an ambush Wednesday while on their way to work at the consulate in Karachi. Another official, Mark McCloy, was wounded and arrived at the ceremony in a wheelchair. National Security Advisor Anthony Lake read a statement from President Clinton urging the families not to lose faith.
We will not rest until we bring the perpetrators of this cowardly act to justice.
So far, though, there has been little punishment for the killers who have been terrorizing Pakistan's largest city for more than a year. The United States is offering a $2 million reward for information on those who attacked the Americans. As to further action, the White House says it's awaiting word from U.S. investigators sent to Pakistan to help.
They're going to come back and give us a full report, and then we will take a closer look based on their report.
U.S. diplomats in Karachi remain on alert, their colleagues' deaths still fresh in their memories. Back home, the families and friends of the slain workers can only mourn and hope no other Americans end up in the line of fire.
I know that it is impossible to make sense of this senseless act, or to soothe with words the loss of your wife and your husband and your father and your mother. Like them, be strong.
Kathleen Koch for CNN, Washington.
Gosh, such a tragedy. Well, we'll have our first look at the weather when we come back.
Spring's only 10 days away.
That's right.
Later tonight, we'll show you a 275-ton, 26-foot-high sand sculpture. And we'll explain why doctors and victims alike say they'd never go for a ride without putting on their helmet.
It is an experience above all else. It is Avalon,
Toyota technology taken to a new level of excellence. A world of superior comfort, room, and refined driving performance. Avalon, the new flagship from Toyota. Built exclusively in America. Experience the tranquility.
With a splash, spring is here at your Les Schwab Tire Centers. Sale prices start at $14.99. Exceptional spring savings on Les Schwab's most popular tires. Z800 Plus, the 80,000-mile tire. And all new for $95, Z800 Plus in the 6065 series. Both on sale. Spring sale prices on small car, large car, performance pickup, sport utility, and RV. All this and much, much more.
Oh, that's the sign. The Les Schwab sign.
Concept cars. Stunning coupes built just for auto shows, not real people. Now, Buick introduces a whole new concept. The all-new 95 Buick Riviera. To celebrate Riviera's success, your Super Buick dealers are extending auto show deals on every new Buick specially allocated by the factory. Make yourself a great deal now at Braley & Graham, Armstrong, Wallace, Jim Weston, Royal Moore, Traxel, Metro. But hurry, extended Super Buick auto show deals end when the last show car is sold.
Presenting a faster Rice-A-Roni. Rice-A-Roni Fast Cook. Ready in just 5 minutes. Delicious Rice-A-Roni. For people on the go.
Tonight's weather segment sponsored by Captain's Nautical Supplies, 138 Northwest 10.
Well, as we move toward a brand new work week, a very good friend of mine from Southeast Portland named Shirley is requesting that we have less rain and more sunshine. That sounds like a brilliant idea to me.
Let's pass on that request to George. George, get on it, babe.
Is that just for tomorrow, or is that an ongoing request? Well, we'll see what we can do about that. Going over California and weather view tonight, a few clouds today, but they saw a little bit of sunshine as well. And, of course, we had a few clouds mixed in with some sun breaks over the Pacific Northwest today. If we go now to our current satellite loop over Oregon and Washington, you can see band of clouds moving in rather rapidly this evening. Earlier today, sunshine, and then all of a sudden, those clouds moving on in. In fact, the back edge of the frontal system just barely visible on this picture offshore. That'll be pushing on later on tomorrow morning, it looks like at this point. Highs today around the Pacific Northwest, fairly mild, but close to average for this time of the year. 53 in Baker City, 50 in Burns, 56 in Portland, and the same in Salem. 53 today was the high in Astoria. Taking a look at precipitation totals, these are 24-hour totals ending at 4 o'clock this afternoon. 4/100ths of an inch in Pendleton, just a trace in Baker City. 4/100ths in the Dalles, just a trace for most of the Willamette Valley, although portions of the Portland area saw a heavy shower or two late this afternoon, and 2/3 of an inch of rain today up in Astoria. Here are wind speeds from this evening. Notice the gusts down in the southwest corner of Oregon, 86 miles per hour recorded already, a gust to that at Cape Blanco, and 59 miles per hour, a gust at Gold Beach today. Okay, taking a look now at our weather around the nation, you can see the storm system moving on to the west coast. However, notice southern portions of California looking pretty good today, and we have some video tonight from some scenes of Southern California, and you can see it was a fairly nice evening there with fairly calm winds, trees not blowing around too much there, and nice-looking skies. Just a few high clouds moving on through from time to time. Not so nice weather, though, in the nation's midsection with actually some severe weather moving on into portions of Oklahoma and Texas with this frontal system here. Warm air in advance of the system and a nice day in the Midwest. Lots of sunshine. You can see that line of severe weather moving through portions of Oklahoma and Texas. In fact, there is a tornado watch in effect for much of southern Oklahoma into Texas for much of tonight into early tomorrow morning. Check out the high in Chicago today, 71 degrees. Oh, it was nice there. It's about 30 degrees above average for this time of the year. And Marquette, Michigan at 61 today. They had 1.5 feet of snow on the ground with that high temperature of 61. Okay, here's our satellite picture over the west. The frontal system right off the coast moving to the northeast. Jet stream plowing into the west coast. We're going to see that continue for the next day or so, but that should just brush that storm right on by us, and we'll see an improvement in the weather during the day tomorrow. Tomorrow's high at the airport right around 57 degrees, 50s for much of the Pacific Northwest. And if we'll take a look here at the weather conditions for tomorrow, rain in the morning, tapering off to showers during the day with some peaks of some sunshine here and there. Maybe some more scattered rain, though, for the eastern portions of the state. And now we'll go on to the morning commute forecast, where it may be a little bit stormy early tomorrow morning. Looks like some rain at times. Tomorrow's temperatures in the morning in the 40s, and tomorrow's sunrise at 6:27. Now, we'll take a detailed look at Doppler radar coming up in our next weather segment and some advisories and warnings to look at as well. But right now, let's go back to the news desk.
Thank you, my friend.
That's all rain.
Yeah. We don't take requests, Shirley. Sorry.
Later tonight, an Hour for Kids Sake segment will show you a school leading the way in new teaching techniques, as long as everyone agrees.
And what's the future of foreign aid? Americans may be burned out on giving. We'll explain when we come back.
What makes Captain's Nautical Supply special? You. Captain's looks out for you and all your nautical needs, weather needs, information needs. Captain's Nautical Supply has maps and charts, weather devices, books and binoculars, night glasses, and experienced service technicians to repair clocks and watches, weather, and nautical instruments. So in order to be special, Captain's Nautical needs you. Head for Captain's Nautical Supply, 138 Northwest 10th, across from the old Portland Armory.
It's Party Animal TV Monday night on UPN. You're a dead duck, platypus. Richard's new bodyguard will put her life on the line.
If my body isn't pressed right up against yours, you could die.
But will she take no for an answer?
Position.
On Platypus Man. Then on Pigsty, the Irish guys are smiling.
Oh, you mean on St. Patrick's Day you get lucky?
Aye, laddie. It's a fool like a blarney on Party Animal TV. Platypus Man and Pigsty.
Monday night beginning at 9 on KPTV 12.
Okay, you are here, and you'd like to be there. What's the best way to get from here to there? It's the Ford Explorer. Redesigned for 95 with a larger interior, better gas mileage, and a new engine that can go 100,000 miles without a tune-up. All the features that make Explorer the #1 choice for right here. Get an Explorer today at your local Northwest Ford dealer.
A legal challenge to the Pentagon's Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy on homosexuals in the military. The American Civil Liberties Union and 2 gay organizations filed the suit on behalf of 6 gay and lesbian service members. They say the ban violates the plaintiffs' constitutional rights to equal protection and free speech. They add homosexuals make good soldiers and that the government is using a double standard.
This is the United States. Lots of people in the United States make other people uncomfortable. Lots of people are made uncomfortable by other people's race. Lots of people are made uncomfortable by other people's religion. Lots of people are made uncomfortable by other people's ethnic background. But in the United States, we don't allow the government to discriminate because one person might make another person nervous because of something that has nothing to do with ability.
Trial is set to begin tomorrow in New York.
The global leaders are heading home from the world's first summit dedicated to fighting poverty. In many speeches at the Copenhagen meeting, poor countries accused the richer ones of shirking their duty. Meanwhile, as Ralph Begleiter reports, the U.S. is talking about cutting back its international spending.
Those were the days. Not so long ago when the American people were seen around the world as generous and eager to help others in need. A Republican U.S. president sent troops to Somalia with food, medicine, and agricultural aid, and a Democratic president continued the mission. But international aid has long been unpopular in Congress and among the American people.
That's an enormous step.
Public opinion, reflected in the conservative result of last November's U.S. elections, puts aid in an even more precarious position. A recent Gallup poll commissioned by the Chicago Council on Foreign Relations shows more than half of all Americans favor cutting back economic aid programs when they're asked about overall spending priorities. Even U.S. military aid, once a favorite tool of U.S. Republican administrations, is in trouble. More than 2/3 favor cutting military aid.
Oh, I think there's going to be a reduction in all foreign aid, and I certainly hope it will.
It's not that U.S. officials don't see the needs in the developing world, they do. But the American public doesn't see the return on investment in helping poorer countries and peoples.
I want the American people to see the cost benefits of crisis prevention. I want them to see the jobs created by developing new markets. I want them to see the ways we are helping them avoid the new threats of disease and pollution of our air and water.
When there is a crisis abroad, such as the disease which followed the tribal slaughter in Rwanda, or homelessness and injuries after a devastating earthquake in Armenia, Americans tend to respond.
The United States was among the world's largest contributors of humanitarian aid to Bosnia, even if the U.S. avoided sending ground troops. But it's the long-term aid, agricultural, construction, and development to Africa, to the Middle East, and to Russia, which Americans seem to resent.
I can't think of a single country, not one, that has graduated from foreign aid. Not a single country.
When U.S. citizens are asked, they assume, wrongly, that large portions of their tax dollars are shipped abroad, and they prefer to keep it at home. Because international aid is so unpopular in the United States, the U.S. recently began substituting expertise, sending lawyers and judges, architects and technicians, and construction workers to help other nations build their social systems and economies rather than sending money. Ralph Begleiter, CNN, Washington.
Vice President Al Gore is praising Croatia's decision today to allow UN forces to remain in that country. Speaking at an international poverty summit in Denmark, Gore said the departure of UN presence in the region would only lead to a full-scale war between Croatian Serbs and government forces. Croatia's leader previously had said the 12,000-man force had to leave at the end of March. Now he has agreed to let only 5,000 UN troops remain in the country.
Phil Cassidy joins us with sports with thousands of highlights.
Yeah, all that work that the Oregon schools did during the regular season really starting to pay off today. A great day. The seeds have been planted, and it's a big day for the homegrown schools. Green's gang is going to the big dance. 3 other teams from Oregon have their dancing shoes ready. March Madness begins Thursday. Oregon has its Ducks lined up in a row of 64.
At Newburgh Ford, people love our service department. They're amazed at our selection. But we also understand that the one thing that really motivates customers is saving money. Lots of it. Right now, we're offering 94 program Tauruses with almost every conceivable option for just $12,995. Program Aerostars, also loaded with options, are only $14,995. We're Newburgh Ford, just west of Tigard, where you'll save money every day.
I'd like this roast lemon chicken soup.
Yes, I'll start out with a house salad, and then we'd like to split an order of, right, crab cakes. And do you recommend the salmon? Fine, I'll take that. And maybe some more bread when you get a chance?
Anything else?
No, that'll be fine for now. Thanks.
You got the winning color. When it comes to getting the oil change, it's basically a no-brainer. I mean, I always use Pennzoil. If you don't keep something lubricated, it's not going to last.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts. Works like liquid ball bearings.
It's showtime, baby! My Pennzoil 4 to the Final Four! Winner took for 2 to the Final Four! 86,000 other prizes! Get details where you find Pennzoil. It'll be awesome, baby!
Get a professional oil change with Pennzoil. Win a trip to the Final Four. Details at Beaverton Toyota.
So, once upon a time, a Volvo 850 Turbo meets a BMW 325i, and the BMW says, I have 189 horsepower. And the Volvo says, that's nice, I have 222. I can do 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds. And the Volvo says, that's nice, I can do it in 6.3. So the BMW says, I'm the ultimate. And the Volvo says, really?
Sports, brought to you by Francis Chrysler Plymouth in Vancouver.
The Oregon Ducks will be wearing the green and gold the day before St. Patrick's Day. The first school to win the NCAA tournament is going back for the first time since 1961. Thursday night in Salt Lake City, Utah, Oregon, the 6th seed, meets Texas, the number 11 seed, the Longhorns, Southwest Conference champions. They went nuts at a selection party at Mac Court this morning when that pairing was announced.
Aberdeen, Washington.
All right, the Ducks like their chances in the postseason, even though they aren't getting much respect for being the 4th-place team out of the Pac-10.
NCAA tournament, we feel that we can beat teams because they don't know our style. They're not going to know our discipline, and I think we can be successful, and that's how we look at it.
And the people who have stuck with us for this length of time, and when other people said that, hey, you're not going to be able to turn it around, you're not going to be able to do this, and to tell us a lot of things like that. So I think the happening of being here is very, very important.
KPTV will follow the Ducks all the way to the Final Four if necessary. The top seeds in the tournament will be Wake Forest, Kentucky, Kansas, and UCLA. The Bruins, one of the 5 Pac-10 teams to make the tournament, they start in Boise against Florida International. FLA Intel gets in with an 11-18 record. They won their conference tournament. That's how they do it. Stanford will play NC Charlotte in the East. The Arizona schools are number 5 seeds. Arizona going to the Midwest. ASU plays David Letterman's alma mater in the Southeast, Ball State. Let's get on with it, shall we? The University of Portland saw its season come to an official end. The Pilots don't get invited to the NCAA or the NIT tournaments. Their final record is 21-8. The Lady Pilots will have a second season. They earn a berth in the women's NCAA tournament. They'll face Purdue down in San Diego Thursday. Tonight they began to get ready for their second straight appearance in the field of 64.
And felt that we earned it over the long haul, and in some ways it's a more gratifying way to win it, knowing that they picked us instead of us winning a particular spot. And that was a good feeling.
WCC tournament didn't turn out the way we exactly wanted it, so it's nice to go back and have another chance.
All 3 Division I women's programs from Oregon making the cuts today. Oregon plays in Boulder against Louisville. Oregon State gets Tennessee State in Knoxville. Championship action today. Defending national champ Arkansas doesn't need an extension cord. It has Corliss Williamson. They go Corliss against Kentucky today in the Southeast Conference title game. Kentucky had a chance to win this thing, had a couple of free throws at the end of regulation. Didn't work out for them, but they did get it done in overtime. The final there was 95-93, Kentucky over Arkansas in the Southeast Conference title game. Well, Mama always said big shots was like a box of chocolates. Some are sweeter than others. Jerry Stackhouse, the North Carolina, ties things with Wake Forest Gump. Sends the game to OT with a 3 there. The Demon Deacons send the NCAA Selection Committee a wake-up call. The Randolph-Childress basket there with 5 seconds to go. And that means the Tar Heels lose the ACC final. Wake Forest winning it for the first time since 1962. Little afternoon delight for the Blazers in Minnesota. They whipped the T-Wolves 102-88. It's a 12:30 game at the Target Center today, so it turns into a power lunch for Portland. Blazers power forwards Buck Williams and Otis Thorpe taking turns hammering Minnesota. They combined for 39 points. And today, Shaquille O'Neal finally beats San Antonio's David Robinson. Final 110-104, Shaq at 28. NBA scores now. The Cavaliers held Philadelphia to 72 points. Nuggets won on the road. There we go, 109-93 there on that score. The Nuggets playing pretty well lately. Atlanta getting over the 500 mark for the first time all season. Utah has won 8 straight. The Kings have won 30 games for the first time in 9 seasons. Seattle, king of the road in the Motor City. Look at that score. Golden State winning at Phoenix again. Chris Mullin back. He had 21 points today. Mark O'Meara, an O'Meara of his former self. He shoots 71 in the...
It's been our observation that people don't necessarily like... horsepower fountain of youth. The 95 Isuzu Rodeo. Practically amazing. See your local Isuzu dealer to check out the Rodeo lease.
For years, the emphasis on bicycle safety has been aimed at children.
But in our Focus on Health tonight, Bill Cooper reports it's apparently the adults who have not gotten the message.
Basically, I feel real lucky.
Jim Rathgerber is right. He's very lucky. He survived a bicycle accident last Tuesday when he was hit by a van as he was riding to work. In sharp contrast to public perception about cycling accidents, a new study by Oregon Health Sciences University finds that more adults than children are being injured and killed in cycling mishaps.
I think the most significant statistic is that in the year of the study, 2/3 of the deaths from cycling in Oregon were in adults.
None of the adults killed was wearing a helmet. Jim Rathgerber has ridden a bike for more than 30 years and just started wearing a helmet last summer.
I kind of scoffed at them because I figured helmets are for people on speed bikes going real fast.
This would have been his skull. So his skull clearly would have cracked clearly across, and he probably would have pulled the scalp right off, and the impact to his brain would have been significant within that.
Cycling deaths in Oregon mirror a national trend. Since 1975, the death rate for cyclists over the age of 16 has doubled, making it just as important, if not more so, that adults wear a helmet when they ride.
The adults have heavier weight, they fly off the end of a bicycle, they've got much more momentum, and they don't have anything to brake, like an engine in a car, to brake their impact.
Raph Gerber is a believer.
I could either be dead or just a bunch of tubes coming out me and people wondering if I should be taking off life support, I guess. I don't know.
Bicycle helmets today are lightweight, colorful, and relatively inexpensive. But whatever the cost, it's a small price to pay in exchange for staying alive. In Portland, Bill Cooper, the 10 o'clock news.
Very good point. We'll show you the controversial movie poster making waves in Britain when we come back. The movie Disclosure is getting a lot of exposure.
And just before that, George Stephan will expose the details of his 5-day weather forecast, so don't go away.